La la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la.
Game stage as quickly as possible. But Prince of Landing is going to be rotating up towards the top. He does have the stage buff as well as the Mic Golem buff. So that's going to be allowing him to continuously deal damage. But looks like the Mulan might be a bit too hard with the crowd control immunity that she innately has. And they're going to look for something else. Oh!
Ooh!
Not able to steal the Sage Golem buff for Alimsky.
Yeah, I was unsure who that went to because they both had the Sage buff. Then we saw it actually fall off Alimsky there towards the end. So it definitely secures Kaiser getting that Sage buff there. But we do, speaking of Kaiser, he has made his way looking for a gank up in that clash lane as well. But again, Ganamo with another rotation down to the mid lane after cleaning out his wave.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram.
Minutes as well. So putting pressure onto the clash lane could secure this Tyrant, but there is going to be no presence from the Kaiser. They've let the Major Pride team take the Tyrant with ease.
For the Overlord up in the top lane though, so still a good enough trade that you don't mind losing the first Tyrant. It's not the end of the world. You don't want to walk into positions where your opponents are already ready and prepared to defend. So making the best out of that situation. But top lane, Mulan almost taking down Shisui. Shisui has to try and run away. So sticky is that Mulan, and he's able to bring him down and pressure the top tier 1 tower as well.
Yeah, nicely played by Boogie there, thinking that the flash was already exhausted, but stunned there onto Boo. Boo is not looking too happy there. He goes down by the Prince of Landing, and also another 2-2 trade there. They take down the Lady's Son as well. So actually it was a 2-1 trade for Major Pride because the first kill was obviously already Charlotte. That was on the other side of the map. So a really positive trade for Major Pride down in the farm lane there. Very aggressive.
Sacrifice Kinesis to have enough damage to bring down the Lady's Son, but that was the best they could also being able to bring down the Princess Frost, allowing the Prince of Landing which is going to increase his damage. It's going to be a very important time window here for Major Pride, who looks to end the game as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, especially with these heavy rotation mechanics here. And once again, Ganmo going through, Lang Ling onto Lady's Son, and then we get a double kill from Alimsky onto Little Loot. Potentially third victim here is Princess Frost. She is in the bush, but they are not going to go check it because Still is there as well. But the Zhang Fei may get caught out here, is overextended. Maybe this is a bait. We're seeing Ganemo come round as well to the rotation. He's waiting for them. No, he was unaware. We see the Kaiser manages to catch out the Ganemo, so the bait
कितना notification मैं भी चालू किया वैसे ही गेम
aggressive there coming from
अरे notification पता नहीं बे ओ सुबह अच्छा सुबह वीडियो डाला था इसलिए
trying to hold off the Princess Frost as well as the Mulan.
चालू किया हाँ खेलना थोड़ा उसके बाद हम साथ में खेलते मेरा भी स्मर्फ से खेलेंगे मेरा भी गोल्ड है तो तू जल्दी सिल्वर वगैरह गोल्ड आ जा साथ में खेलेंगे
Prince of Landing able to get it. Seems still dropping down very low. The Charlotte is
कुछ
here.
समझ नहीं आ रहा वैसे
Huge ultimate coming from
किधर
He's going to be able to
गेम में
Can he get more done? No, he will not. Ladies is still alive.
हीरोस वगैरह थोड़ा इधर डिफिकल्ट सिल्वर 2 पे हूँ ओह नाइस
Yes, it is. Buggy gets a triple kill.
क्या समझ नहीं आ रहा गेम में
The rewards with an extra creep wave as
ये गेम
So all that amazing
ये गेम में भी से थोड़ा सा
difficult है thanks to Boogie getting a triple kill on the Mulan here.
थोड़ा सा बहुत ज़्यादा ही
difficult really fast paced gameplay. We had Charlotte was too far
इसमें जंगलर और सोलो लैंड दोनों ही कैरी कर सकते हैं
up NRX because we saw Prince of Landling just go too far out. He was way too far away from his team, and then he was just an easy single target to take down, and then Boogie just chased Ganemo.
Heroes अच्छा है but अपने dragon and jungling
really well played by NRX.
अपना वही ना थोड़ा सा सोलो क्यों में नहीं तो भाई कुछ भी बोलो सामने वाला अच्छा खेलते हमारा टीम में घटिया खेलते
her access
तो वो
comment as
दिखाता है
well.
गेम की
That
तू
is
सोलो
gonna
में
be a
अच्छा
huge
खेलना
damage boost,
कैरी पूरा
allowing her
टीम
to
को
be able
कैरी
to do
करना
damage early
वो
on
भाई अग दिया
and
इनका जंगलर
hopefully be able to
फाक
help
ब्रो
the team take these early fights as well. But there might be some trouble here. The Gunner nuke is not enough
Free
to bring
kill.
him down, but the sun is gonna fall towards Kinesis on the Demon Jay, and he's being chased down here by the Kaiser. Can he escape in time? The Zhang Fei shoots
नो
absolutely
आइडिया
huge,
कैसे
keeping
जंगलिंग
alive
करना
for
है
the
हाँ
longest
क्या
of
मतलब
time, but it is not enough as he is gonna fall. So
अरे
is
सेम है
Overlord
वाइल्ड लिफ जैसे ही है
going to fall
जंगलिंग
towards the Kaiser. So much physical damage from this jungle
ब्लू ले
hero,
लेगा
and he is absolutely on a tear
ब्लू का
at the
सेट
moment.
जंगल क्लियर करेगा
Just NRX
उसके
still
बाद
show NRX
सोलो
still
लेनर
just
को हेल्प करने
showing
तो
how
कर नहीं तो
sticky this Kaiser
रेड आ जा
really is.
रेड
He was
क्लियर
just
कर
in there, just
और
taking the
इनको मार
damage, and everyone was just
बॉटम
like,
को
"You're not gonna kill me, bro."
उसके
Like
बाद
literally,
मिर्जा
I'm just here to sustain
फार्म
some
ले
damage whilst I just get like healed
फार्म
up
लेने
from
के बाद
Little Luke as
ड्रैगन
well at the
स्टार्ट
same
कर
time, and then being aided by Princess Frost there. It was really well played, but Boogie going 1v1 onto
बट
the Charlotte
इसमें
once
ड्रैगन
again,
कौन
getting
है
another
बेरन कौन है
takedown. That was a nice replay
वाह
that we didn't
वाह
capture, so there's
पर्पल
quite a lot
बेरन
going
होता
on
है
with the map
येलो
here,
ड्रैगन
so
होता है
seeing that the macros actually changed up quite a bit and a bit of improvement from NRX.
Yeah, Mulan is definitely online at the moment, feeling confident to take these one-on-one
और
fights
बीच में
against
वो
anybody
ड्रैगन
who
फार्मिंग तो
comes
समझ
into her path, and she's able to be
वो
rewarded
बीच में
for
वो
her efforts to
बीच
kill.
में किधर आता है
Right now,
बेरन है
that
ना
allows,
इधर
NRX to
बेरन
be
को
able to get the
वाइल्ड
Tyrant
लिफ में
as
बेरन
well, and they
बेरन
are
बफ देता
looking to go for
है
more.
इसको
This might be in a little bit of a
मिनियंस
dangerous
को
position for Risky, but
बट
he's
ये गेम
too
में
close to the
ड्रैगन
tower
छोड़ता
that
है
NRX do not want to take that risk to take that fight.
गेम्स पर ड्रैगन आता है
Absolutely, but
अरे
I'm
बेरन
paying
लेने के
quite
ये
close
10
attention
मिनट्स में
to
नहीं आएगा
Prince
ठीक है
Alan
10
Link in the
मिनट्स
top
बाद
lane
तो
looking to
बेरन
take
लेने का ना
and take that
उसमें
farm,
ऐसा क्या बोलते हैं
and
रिफ्ट आता है
maybe
ना
looking for a re-engage
वेल्ड
onto
लिफ में
the
रिफ्ट
team
आता है
fight.
ना
There's
रिफ्ट
no one
छोड़ते हैं
can
ना
happen, but
वैसा
he's
रिफ्ट
gotta be
आएगा
careful
इसमें वो
because
रिफ्ट
NRX
रिफ्ट
are
रिफ्ट है
waiting,
वो
and we know
तो
that
वो
they have
ड्रैगन
the
आते तो
patient
एनिमी
game
का तू
locked
कौन
down,
सा लेन में
but
छोड़ेगा उधर
still
एनिमी
actually
का
gave that
मिनियंस
away,
वगैरह क्लियर होता है
unfortunately, to Alimsky.
वो
And then they
मेक
realized
सेंस
that they gave it away. They're like, you know what, let's leave Prince of Land
इधर
there.
एम्पावर
He's not
नहीं
gonna
करता
come and
मिनियंस को
take that
ये
bait.
उनका खुद का
However,
ड्रैगन्स
he
आते हैं
pushed his
मिनियंस के
top
बदले
laner, top
दो
laner,
बार
flash
ड्रैगन्स
over,
आते हैं
get
तीन तीन
first
लेन को
for
उसके बाद
Major
तेरे पास
Pride
एक
taking
वो
a
ड्रैगन
turret, which I
मिलेगा
don't think
सो
they managed to
अकेला
gestate in a game at all.
अकेला खेलना बोर होता है एक्चुअली
Yeah,
ऑफकोर्स
this is
सब
gonna be
मोबा में
tough
होता
for
है
the team
अंटिल
to
यू
keep
आर
alive for the
हार्डकोर
moment.
गेमर
Oh, huge damage towards the backline. That's
अब
gonna
वो
take
भी
out the
नया
falling.
मोबा है ना तेरा
Swiss
को उतना
barely
इंटरेस्ट भी
surviving
नहीं
his
रहता
life,
तू
and
ट्राई
that
कर
might
रहा है
be the Overlord falling here as well. The Zhang Fei does not have his leap anymore, and the damage coming from the
होता है
Mulan.
होता है
Way
मेरे
too
को भी
much, and
दूसरा
it's
मोबा
gonna be
खेला
a
तो भाई
an
इंटरेस्ट नहीं
NRX
होता अकेला
is
बोर
gonna
होता
be
है
queued up by the Little Loot as well. Put pressure on towards the mid territory tower.
ये
The damage
मेरे
coming
को
from the
ये
Mulan.
मुश्किल नहीं लगा
Almost
इट्स ओके
enough to
मुश्किल
heal.
मतलब
Sun
ऑफकोर्स
won't
मैं
be happy
आर
to
था
protect
नूबो
the tower, as well as
वैसा
the
में
kill on
मुश्किल नहीं
towards
कि
the
ये
Prince
गेम
of
कुछ
Landing
समझ
as well.
नहीं आ
Can
रहा
they
वैसा
chase
वगैरह
out
क्योंकि
Lady Sun? Yes, he
कैरेक्टर्स
can.
वगैरह सब तो पता है कि
Oh,
सीओटी
what a
में
nice
था
close kill
तो
there by Lady
वो
Sun, just
वैसा है
taking
कि
out Prince of
बट
Landing.
थोड़ा सा
Just
समझ है ना
final
मोबा गेम
piece,
सेंस
and
वगैरह मेरा
Frost on the cake, but there may be a finish
हाँ
for the
सॉरी
Crystal
सॉरी
here. I feel like there is no push of the
अन्ना
minions
इसके
in the lane to actually achieve this, but Charlotte once again soaking the damage, but still falls down to the Milan
ऐसा है सीन
and managed to take out 0-3, 0-7 and Bobhead as well. So there's a little bit of consolation there within that mid lane clash up for the Crystal. It wasn't going to fall because we didn't have enough minions rotating through to the mid lane. Still looking a little bit sticky here for the wrong reasons in the enemy jungle. Tyrant and Overlord are both up and they're both in hand, so I feel like
देखो भाई भाई इतना गर्म हो रहा है फैन ऑन
anytime
करना
soon.
पड़ेगा
Major Pride's weakness in their lineup is showing right now. The lack of team fight, lack of crowd control in their lineup has just shown over and over again. They aren't able to take these 5-on-5 fights very convincingly because they're walking into Princess Frost with the slow. They're walking into the Mulan with her slows as well, and because of that, they're not able to keep these players where they want to be. But Risky able to get the Overlord, but and is able to walk away from that as
बोले ये
well.
लोग अच्छा खेल रहे हैं यार
Some breathing room for the side of Major Pride.
फिर या कुछ भी बोले एमपीटी में ना वो कल भाई बहुत घटिया आ रहा खेलते हैं अपन साथ में जब स्मर्फ बनाएगा पता अरे मैं बना चुका हूँ मैं स्मर्फ बना के गोल्ड में है ऑलरेडी मेन अकाउंट मास्टर गया उसके बाद इतना घटिया खेल ले मैं सीधा डेमन फया चुका हूँ वो भी हार गया तो भाई प्लेटिनम आ जाऊंगा स्मर्फ बनाया उसमें सोचा कि अच्छा विन रेट मेंटेन करो बट नहीं हुआ भाई 4 गेम गोल्ड में भी हार रहा हूँ मेरे को कौन सा रैंक आना पड़ेगा कुछ भी नहीं अभी भी खेल सकते हैं वैसा नहीं रात को खेलेंगे
Princess Frost and Little Luke.
Yo,
literally
Taxi
just
bro,
running
welcome,
around like
welcome to the
trio,
stream.
Of a girl group
कैसे
here,
चल रहा है
just
Sunday?
constantly sticking together. They're a lot more stickier than this Kaiser. They're just constantly just as a little click, just rotating around this map. But here we go, still going in, pops the ult, takes down the Zhang Fei. We see Dara MG go down as well.
खेलने
This is
का
going to be a
टाइम
high
बोला.
ground choice takedown.
हाँ
I
वही
feel
मैं
like this could be
पूछ
delayed.
चेक करता कि
Delayed
फ्री है
pivotal
वैसा.
is about to
तो
happen
वो
here.
आ बोल दे तो
Crystal
उसी टाइम
is back
रात
open. There's
रात
kind
तो
of
10
minions
बजे
in
वैसे
there. They
खेल
may
लेंगे.
want an attack, but instead they decided to go for more members.
नहीं तो 11 बजे 12 बजे कल फिजिक्स का एग्जाम है वो. और कितना सबसे?
There is no minions just yet. There is a inevitable minion creep wave coming through.
ये देखो भाई, ये मेरे को अच्छा लगता होता है. मिनियंस आ रहा है ना, पीछे से जाकर मिनियंस को डिस्टर्ब करो. भाई ये लोग एमपी लोग बहुत पता नहीं इनका गेम अभी रिलीज हुआ ना, इसलिए वैसा खेल रहे या नहीं. टर्की लोग एमएलबी भी प्लेयर्स है वो लोग.
NRX able to exploit the advantage of their squad, which is having that
ये तो मैच जीत लेता भाई. ये कौन है भाई? जिम फ्रीक
was able to capitalize on
Just
the small
ऐसा दिखा रहा है.
mistakes from the side of Major Pride and able to take this victory despite a very rocky start.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw Major Pride have a bit of an improvement there, but I feel like the
अरे ये लोग
biggest
काला
event
प्लेयर कोई नहीं
improvement-
लेता क्या?
There we go. Decline
Lord.
that seat. You deserved it, lad. The biggest
भाई ये
improvement
बंदा
was
चेहरा नहीं
definitely
देख सकता
from
भाई
NRX
बंदे को भाई.
because the macro
बेचारा
was
ये
definitely
जंगल
a lot
खेलता
better
है.
than yesterday. But then again, they didn't have BJK's Mulan to compete against where they were pushing force of the team. But NRX, fair play to them, they do take the victory in game one. Let's see what Major Pride can do to fix
क्या है?
this.
अरे अरे टॉक्सी ब्रो, वो कल कोच था ना, कोच वो कोच नहीं था, वो बस प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा था. मतलब कोच उसको नॉलेज है बट वो ओनर भी है.
Since day number one, they haven't had a really good draft so far. Maybe it's just their playstyle not really relying on team fights. But as we know, Honor of Kings towards the mid and late game, everything revolves around taking team fights, and that's why Princess Frost has so many assists. That's why you see the little loot 1, 3, and 17. These team fights need to be won for the side of NRX.
Absolutely.
मैं
I mean,
उसका
just look at
Instagram
those
वगैरह
amazing
check किया.
KDAs there from Still, Bobnet as well.
भाई मस्त
Boogie
मस्त
on the
फोटोज
Mulan
डाली
going
थी.
12-0-2,
वो उसका
complete no
वो पूरा
different.
और का
Happy
दो
to
ओनर है
move on
गेस.
to the next,
उन तो लड़की लोग ही
game,
ओनर है, लड़की लोग ही
try and
मैनेजमेंट है
convince
उधर,
another
इसलिए
no
प्लेयर्स
different
उतना
there
अच्छा
by
खेलते
Boogie.
हैं.
And
इसलिए उनका
12-0-2,
पबजी
408.
पबजी
Like I
मोबाइल
said,
का लेन ऑफ नंबर
anticipation
होने उधर.
from the little Luke going
समझ
for
रहे हो?
17 assists there. Just sort of showed you
फुल
how
मोटिवेशन.
sticky
जीते
Lady Sun,
जीतो
and
जीतो
Princess
फुल
Frost
मोटिवेशन.
and Little Luke was, and then whenever aided by themselves and rotated through as the trio, they then was met with Mulan, and just looking at the damage dealt there,
क्या है बताओ?
27.5k. Lady Sun, even though not claiming as many kills as
अरे
Boogie,
रुको.
still had 23.4%. I feel like that's the Boogie definitely deserves the MVP on this one, however.
I think with a scoreline of 12-0-2,
Yes,
there is
seven.
no doubt about
इसके
it.
बाद-
Because Buggy was just everywhere towards the back line, being able to get kills over and over again. And despite a not so great laning stage,
Petal
being
lag-
ganked over and over again, he was able to
Petal,
recover very well
PETL,
and
ये
definitely earned
GB.
the MVP in my books.
स्पेस फुल
Yes,
लिखो.
MVP was well earned there by
Petala,
Boogie, even though he hasn't even come on
PETAL,
screen yet, we are
GB.
still- If the producer says otherwise, I think me and Zero will just riot. But looking at the jungle
reaches
objectives there,
purpose.
we saw a little bit more of a presence in the jungle with Major Pride,
ऐसा.
especially compared to how they played yesterday again for Chaos. But then again, for
मेरा
Chaos,
नहीं
a
दिख रहा
whole
क्या?
different
Fuck, bro.
breed. NRX
Black
still
screen
from
आ
the
गया
same
क्या
region,
screen पे?
still got to prove themselves that they are better than Foot Chaos.
नहीं
But
है,
one
नहीं है.
Tyrant, one Shadow Tyrant, and one
दुआ
Overlord. We didn't even
करे
get to see
भगवान
the Tempest
से.
Dragon even come
ये
through
टीओजी
like
लोग
we
इधर
did
देख
see.
जंग्स
This
टुल्लू
time around,
मल्ले
this
के
time
वल्ले के
yesterday, we
तैया.
saw that the Tempest
ये
Dragon
क्या
was
क्या बात कर रहे बे?
overwhelmed. This time today is a different
ये नेपाली में भाई
story.
मलई की विंग
Very
के
fast
तुई.
games from NRX.
ये
motivating
नेपाल
their
में बात
timings.
कर रहा है
They just put their foots on their gas and never even thought about taking a break because they just kept running around, kept being able to deal with the map pressure that the Prince of Landing was trying to create on the opposite sides of the map because they know as long as they stick together and take these favorable team fights, they'll be able to take the victory eventually. So great game here from the side of IWNRX.
There we
have it.
go. Mr. Boogie with the MVP. Thank you, producer. Thank you, team over in Istanbul, for agreeing with us at 12-0. Definitely needs highlighting, and I'm pretty sure we'll get some highlight reels here soon from Boogie himself. But yes, definitely carrying that team. Definitely learning a thing from BJK yesterday, because the Mulan pick was actually picked up by Boogie yesterday. It's clearly a favorable pick. It was taken from him, used against him, but this time he's like, you know what? I'm going to show you that Mulan is actually my pick, and I'm very comfortable with this hero. And sitting at 13.2k gold as well towards the end of the match is huge here from Boogie. We saw nothing come close on the side of Major Pride, but here it is. Here's the replay reel from Boogie.
Great rotations early on. Just mirroring what the Gun Mo was doing allowed them to get an early kill on versus Zhang Fei.
भाई उधर उसको मेज बचा रहा था, उसको छोड़ के सीधा नीचे आ गया। एमएम बचाने बेचारा कंफ्यूज हो गया किसको बचा। वेरी नाइस भाई, दो बच्चे का माँ है वो।
Then you see him start moving across the map, start pressuring across the map as well, and yeah, despite Major Pride getting some great kills.
सोचा भाई खुद ओनर को ओनर या नहीं तो मैनेजर डायरेक्टर कुछ भी बोलो, वो क्या है?
The Princess Frost, the ultimate onto the backline is just
esports manager
being able to isolate Linsky here, getting the kill, and here we have
कुछ तो है
doing whatever he wants with the whole lineup of Major Pride, just diving in, knowing that there is no more contest.
मेरे साथ एक वाह भाई इतना जल्दी शेष
Absolutely. I mean, you can see why the Prince of Lanling was actually picked, and it was all just to try and take down Princess Frost, which happened in a few certain scenarios, but not every time was it very successful. And when it wasn't successful, you saw those team fights go heavily in the favor of NRX, and just showing that Boogie just re-engages, has his own 1v1s, has his way with Charlotte up in the clash lane, which doesn't quite happen as many times as you think it would.
future ढूंढ लिया.
Great clash lane champion, and we saw that Suzuki actually play very well on the Charlotte.
भाई जल्दी दूसरा मैच खत्म करो भाई। हमको देखना है एसटी का, और उसके बाद हमको देखना है वो एफयूटी कुछ है। वो आज किसका मैच है? एनआरएक्स हो गया, उसके बाद वीवो। अच्छा वीवो है, वीवो ट्विस्टेड माइंड से।
Wasn't the best situation they would hope for. That would have been a good way to come back to the game, was just wiping out the entire team, but that was just not enough, getting only one kill. And with that, that is going to be either NRX taking the lead in this best of 3 series with
कुछ भाई एमपी लोग बहुत है भाई, लोग को भाई ये लोग एमपी लाइनअप चेंज करना है।
Major Pride, but can Major Pride come back in the second game? That is yet to be seen, because Major Pride has not won a single map yet.
Absolutely. I mean, going into day 2, not having a single match win yet is definitely a mental boom. I know I would be
कैस्टर सीधा
right
मुंह पे बोल देते भाई, ये तो
Major
जीता
Pride,
नहीं है, जीतेगा
I feel like
नहीं।
the draft just isn't quite there. It's like you said, in the original draft, it's very unconventional. It's not quite the meta. They generally have some of the champions that we see, like situational picks like the Ganmo, especially for Brazilian teams. It was huge.
भाई ऐसा बोल देते भाई कमेंट आपको like you know like these guys are event one match also, so they're gonna be in top bottom line.
For Ganmo, because we saw that the first tier turret was still alive as they were pushing the Nexus, so it's like they need to just rethink what they want to do. I would say
नहीं होगा भाई, वो लोग इतना demotivate होगा।
I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter who you ban for food.
भाई वो लोग जीत गए तो भी क्या फर्क पड़ता है? अभी ये मैच गया भाई, ये लोग इतना हार गए ना मैच अभी 2-3 भाई, ऑफ कोर्स बाकी टीम को कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा ना, लेके ये लोग क्या चूतिया टीम है भाई, इसको मार देते हैं।
Identify the weaknesses in their compositions. They played the game pretty well. The early game rotations were great. They were able to get the lead at a certain points in time. But the mid game in Honor of Kings is all about team fighting. It's all about
दिमाग में लगाएगा भाई, गेम पर भाई गया।
Transitioning those winning fights into getting objectives across the map. And if you don't win the fights, if you don't take step number 1, you'll not be able to progress into step number 2 and 3, and that is where Major Pride
रियल
sort of
हाँ
fell
वही
off
ना भाई
towards
ऑफ कोर्स
the middle stages of the game.
स्टार्टिंग में
Absolutely, Major
2-3
Pride
मैच
showing
भाई
some
इतना
major
कॉन्फिडेंट
problems
इतना
in
क्या
that
बोलते हैं इतना
mid to late
कॉम्पिटिटिव
game, like you say. But when you see NRX and seeing these stacked
इतना
team comps,
कॉम्पिटिटिव दो
especially when
कि
we
भाई
saw
उन
that
लोग को
Bookie was going
सोच
against the Mulan
दिमाग में तो
yesterday,
आना चाहिए
maybe
ना
picked up one or two things from BJK's Clash laner, so he's improved that Mulan
कि भाई सामने
gameplay.
टीम अच्छा है
But
थोड़ा
then you
सा
see the likes of
सीरियस
Isaac come through, how sticky that champion is. We had the little Luke come through as well, and which complements that champion very much, that hero, sorry, very well. The synergy came through and shined and clearly showed in that victory.
Yep, they still have one more chance to make a statement here in game 2 of this.
ओके
In
ओके
game 2 of this best of 3 series. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break before we come back with game 2 between Major Pride and IW NRX.
सॉरी सॉरी हाँ नेक्स्ट गेम प्लीज क्या टॉप 3 वो टॉप 3 प्लेयर्स भाई ये तो मेज मस्त खेला है क्या चोरी किया वो
The sustains from the little Luke, just the
तो ये लोग रात पर बैठ के पूरा ये किया है
line trying to burst someone down. They bring down the view and Jen is absolutely huge and huge down, Xiao is one of them.
वो
Oh, then RX is able to just get top down. And
भाई ये अकेला टीम ही सबको मारेगा आई गेस आज ये 7 का मैच नहीं है क्या नहीं है आज ये 7 का नहीं है फक ब्रो आज ये 7 का मैच नहीं है एसटी का भी मैच नहीं है आज सब ये टर्किश का ही मैच है आज
Welcome back, everybody, to
Welcome
the
back.
game 2 of match 1 between Major Pride versus NRX. I am Blam, those that are tuning in, and with me I have my co-streaming partner. It is Mr. Zero. How do we feel how that match went earlier?
I felt like, you know, Major Pride definitely had issues that they needed to fix. Let's see if they're able to do that in
भाई इनका कोच क्या
coming
कर
into
रहा
game
है
number 2 of this
उनको
best of
कोच
3
क्या
series.
सिखा रहा है
It is still
इनको
the group stages, but you kind of want to take a win here to be able to, you know, keep everybody's
ये लोग तो
morale
चिल
up,
कर रहे हैं भाई सामने वाले
not keep your morales up, because if you go into the last game of the group stages without a single win, that is going to hurt your entire team morale. And a win here, even despite not winning the entire series by itself, will go a long way to allow these players to perform at their fullest potential.
Yeah, like I said in the introduction to day one, Major Pride only really have today and tomorrow to really show where they can stand in this group stage, and currently it's not looking too well for the team. We hope that they can bring this back in the game 2 of match 1 of the day. We would love to see, as casters, there is nothing more we love seeing is a full best of 3, a full meaty, well-developed best of 3 narrative-driven game. So this is where the narrative starts into the bans and drafts here for game number 2.
NRX just picks up the Princess Frustrate away, and they're sticking to the same bans as well. I mean, Mozi and the Lamb being banned out here for NRX, while Major Pride banning out the Dun as well as the Da Qiao. But this time they're gonna have a different opening here, picking up the Musashi as their first pick, because NRX has been banning it in the second phase against them.
Absolutely. So the Musashi is a great pick. We saw it come through a few times yesterday. Was it in the STE game, I believe it was? Musashi.
One of the
saw
games
it twice.
definitely a Musashi.
Yeah, saw him twice. Currently sitting at a 0% win rate here. Obviously, the sample pool is not big. We've only had 6 games, but it shows that there is a learning curve to Musashi as a hero. But looking at Musashi's counterparts here, we have the Zhang Fei come through again, but they're going for the Byron in the Clash lane over the Charlotte. So not banning out Charlotte because they've taken the Mulan again, and rightfully so. I don't know why the Mulan was not considered in the first prio picks there, because done is not the issue. They can pick the Kaiser regardless.
Absolutely, and NRX does pick up the Kaiser once again. No more little loot to partner up with him this time though, so the Leah is open.
Yeah.
Is NRX gonna go for it? I mean, can they see it? They ban out the Sunbin, which is not gonna do a lot against the lineup on the side of Major Pride. I mean, the silence is annoying, but do they really care when you have a Zhang Fei and a Byron who is very meaty and tanky and can stand in the front lines? You kind of need to take away the supports for the Kaiser that allows him to play like a Kaiser.
Absolutely. I mean, it would take those away from him, add an addition of a Luke Burn onto your team, and then you're pretty much onto a potential contesting of the Kaiser, but they are sticking to the Duranji here. I feel like this hero didn't really give much to this team comp. Yes, he has the Purify. There isn't much of in terms of the CC just yet on the side of NRX other than the slows from the Princess Frost. But again, the CC just won't. It's just not a stopping force for either the Mulan or the Kaiser, especially if they lock in that Dolia as well. But let's see what NRX go for in these last two picks. They need their farm lane and they need their roam. Plenty of roams and plenty of. We have the Ali hovered over here, currently sitting at the 100% win rate, and there it is.
There we have it.
I think we can just surmise what's going to happen in this match here. Dolia finally getting locked in after 7 games total in Invitational Season 1, and then they lock in the Angela in a
Butterfly bhi to meta hai, but they don't use it.
Again, this was another matchup that we saw with
ये
Star
लोग थोड़ा
Wars
सा
versus Alpha 7.
थोड़ा
Yeah, I'm not really convinced here
दिमाग
by
वाला
the
gameplay
Angela pick.
खेले.
I was looking at the lineup of Major Pride, and the same problem still stands. They don't have great team fight. They don't have this large area of control that the Kaiser is afraid to walk into. Right now, he can just avoid the Angela and go straight towards the backlines, and there's nothing he can really do about it. Something like a Lady Zen would have been a better pick towards the mid lane, or even just a Zhou Yu, which
ऐसा कोई Lady Zen वगैरह try नहीं कर
areas
रहा.
where people are afraid to step in. But with the Angela, it's not really
गिटार वाला भी
as
try नहीं कर रहा है
potent
क्या?
as the other
गाओ,
mid
गाओ,
lane mages can
गाओ.
provide.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the
हाँ, वो
Angela
अच्छा
play
है,
very well there
पता
on
नहीं ये लोग
suits
क्यों नहीं
in
try कर रहा.
A7, but that again, it was just because of the understanding of the champion, the CCM unity of this hero in this game can be quite a playmaker, like we saw yesterday. Even though Suits honorably actually said it was a mistake, still in my brain, I'm taking it as that is skilled. He knew what he was doing. He was just being humble. It was just a humble brag. It's just a mistake. It's like, no, bro,
देखना पड़ेगा
you
अभी.
definitely
ये लोग
knew
भाई
what was going
ये
on
हार
there.
गए दोनों मैच
The
हार गए ना
insane
भाई.
knowledge of that
जीत के भी फायदा नहीं.
hero, sorry, was crazy.
Comeback तो
But yeah, I mean, again, like you said, that the draft of Major Pride,
comeback तो
they
करना
just
पड़ेगा इन
lack
लोग को.
any sort of
सब
team
same
fight.
heroes
We've
ही
got
use
the
कर रहे हैं.
Zhang
वही
Fei,
ना
who
भाई.
is mainly
Rotation
their
वही हो रहा
just
है.
staple hero here. We saw Zhang Fei do quite a bit of nuisance towards NRX, but it just wasn't enough, especially with the likes of the Kaiser. And now that they've got the Ali, they can just
इनको
teleport
Aino
around, free roam.
वगैरह यूज कर सकते हैं क्या ये लोग?
I don't
Aino,
know. They've
Alistar
got the
उसके
Princess
बाद और
Frost.
कौन?
3 out of the 5 return for game 2, and you could
अरे कुछ
arguably
heroes
say
उनमें
that
बैन है ना.
you could change
Like
the
अभी
other two
पाकिस्तान,
positions
बांग्लादेश को नहीं
around,
मिल
which is
रहा.
the farm and the roam, but keeping that mid jungle and clash lane, you can do anything with that. It's an unstoppable force, especially
भाई
bugging
इन लोग को
12-0
Frost ही खेलते हैं बे.
on
Frost
the
भी
Mulan
में
in game
Angela.
1.
भाई पूरा
Yeah,
इसे
this
रैंक मैच में लेते हैं ना
lineup for
सब ऐसा
NRX, I
ही है.
mean, if you had to make a tier list of every single hero in their respective roles, they must have just picked all 5 tier 0 heroes on their lineup. I wonder what went wrong in the ban phase. I mean, allowing NRX to be able to pick up all these top tier heroes, arguably only maybe the Mulan
भाई
isn't
चप्पल दो भाई और डोलिया को.
as great as, you know, something like a Byron.
शू या चप्पल दो
But
भाई.
we've seen Buggy, he can make any hero look like a tier 0 hero.
Absolutely. I mean, he's definitely a Clash lane player to his own. He is tried and tested in 3 matches now, especially against BJK, who have their own great Clash lane player with an amazing macro. We saw them absolutely destroy on the Mulan, but it's clearly either just the Turkish region have great Clash lane players here, or it's just the Mulan pick is just so good for this game.
Rotation's going towards the top lane. Byron has support from the Zhang Fei to try and take this jungle creep. Oh, but here comes the same story once again. Is this gonna be just another repeat? Are they gonna get a kill onto Shisui?
Oh.
Yes, they are. Again, it's gonna be Princess Frost getting the first blood. And deja vu moments happening once again.
Yeah, a black cat has just walked across my screen. Deja vu has happened. There is a glitch in the Matrix because we've just seen the same first blood play happen over again for NRX. But hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Princess Frost taking the first blood again, which, as we always state, is huge for your team in terms of the bonus gold. But Dolian there rotating back down to the farm lane to aid the Ali. But once again, we're getting a 2v1 here.
Yeah.
Major Pride are not happy with that first blood and counter it fairly quickly with Musashi.
But अच्छा तो खेल रहा है
Musashi
MP.
definitely wants that kill,
Comeback
allowing
करेगा
him
MP.
to get to his Axe of Torment as quickly as possible, because that's a huge power spike for your jungle player, especially for a hero like the Musashi. You want to be able to chain your, you want to be able to keep getting kills every time your skills are off cooldown. So good return here from the side of Major Pride. Can they keep the tempo up though? That remains to be seen.
Yes, the gas is clearly on, and we're waiting for NRX to cook. But so far, so good in terms of the game itself. We're seeing a very similar first blood go on, but from Major Pride's side, we're actually seeing a bit more aggression, especially with the Musashi pick here.
Early game में ये 2-2 किलो दे देते हैं और
so much
टेंशन
within his kit. Yes, Prince of Langling has that single target.
कर ली A7 क्या comeback किया
completely wipe them out before their
ST के
teammates
सामने
can even get to them, especially if they lack any kind of CC.
भाई वो लोग early game ऐसे ही
But the
छोड़ देते
Musashi
कुछ भी
is
कर लो
just a
late game
great
ऐसा ही
in
है
terms of
अच्छा सा एक
knock-up,
fight पकड़ के मार
ganking. He
easy
has it all
comeback
in his kit. He's a great champion,
वैसे
a
ही
great
करेगा
hero for the jungle.
Absolutely, yeah. Gretzky trying his luck, not able to land his skill in towards the bottom.
Once
Top
again,
game, they really want to
खुशी
get
भाई
that
ये
down.
क्या
2 here. Everyone looking pretty low.
Hey.
Byron getting almost wiped out there.
Lol.
Just not as quick as a cooldown on his ultimate, but under the turret, Boogie does fall too. Musashi getting the CC immunity,
यही
but
क्या
they
था भाई?
do
भाई
trade
डम था भाई, बहुत
2-2
डम था।
up in the clash lane. Having a little bit of a fan-do fun there. 2-2 trade by
मोशी को 3 किल
Major
मिला ना
Pride. So
Musashi
thank you, Turret, for making that
हाँ,
big of a
3 किल
trade
मिला
to
है
Major
Musashi
Pride. You are a true MVP within this game already. We're seeing Farm Lane having a little... It's not having the same kind of fun. Ali taking a lot of damage here, but with the Princess Frost rotation, it's a help and gain up some farm as well. But once again, just looking at this 2v2 clash just goes on for years, it seems.
All very tanky heroes just diving in the tower. Buggy did have to pay with his life,
Yeah,
and
right.
still as well having to commit for that kill and pay with his life as well. Ended up with a 2-4-2 trade. I mean, Alimsky got most of the experience from that, so he's gonna be pretty happy with how that went. That allows him to get to his second level of his ultimate. That's gonna be an extra bit of burst damage coming when they want to try and contest for this Tyrant.
Absolutely. We can see that he's planning on building an Axe of Torment, and he has just finished off the item there. We saw from the second tier item that was definitely the first piece of kit he was looking at going for. But once again, we're trading the Tyrant for the Overlord. It worked pretty well in the first game, but we get a 4-on-2 dive here. Potential first turret going over to Major Pride, so a little bit of a change up here. Okay, I am listening. I am sat down. Both ears are open, and I'm listening to Major Pride looking for the first turret. But Mulan does answer it up in the clash lane, uncontested by Byron.
And they want a little bit more here, but the Princess Frost D-push is just way too strong.
आज का ult भाई मैं भी वैसे यूज करता कि minions ही clear कर दो team fight में नहीं चाहिए यार
towards the early, but he might have paid with his life. Didn't a bit more than he can chew. Angela able to land the skill and get a
भाई ये
kill
बहुत
towards
गलतियां कर रहा है
the
भाई
Via. That means no partner here
पीछे आ
for
जा
the
भाई
Kaiser.
अभी
Kaiser
फ्लैश
only have one
टॉर्च नहीं है
ultimate, and he uses it, goes try and go for
Oh
Kinesis.
भाई,
Kinesis gets cut
60
as
का
well, and Arlie will be the one to clean him up.
भाई उसका अल्ट
And
होता
that
तो
ends up with an
और एक
unfavorable
मिल
trade
सकता
here
था
for the
कि
side of Major Pride because the rotations were just way too fast coming from the side of MRX.
Yeah, just when you think the Kaiser is going to be your end, you see the Ali comes round with the
इनका
floating
Kaiser,
umbrella,
उनका
teleports
Masashi,
in and just
दोनों ही
finishes
carry
off
कर
the
सकते हैं
damage there, especially with the stacks. And it looks like there is going to be a finish off for the turret here, but it's left to the Vanguard to do that. So that eases up NRX for looking for a rotation here, potentially in the mid lane, because they have both side lane turrets now. Opening to that mid lane could be deadly for NRX.
जंगल का कंट्रोल ही नहीं कर पा रहे
Redski on the Angela, down goes the stable champion. Then it's Kaiser, but Ali is coming back with a kill. 1-2 disengage. Musashi gets taken down by Princess Frost. Back of the queue there. Boogie does best for the CC immunity now wearing off. He has to be careful from this Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei been left alone, left to fend on a Mulan all on his own. And Boogie secures a double kill. I feel like that was a mutiny by Major Pride and Redski there, just leaving Zhang Fei all alone with Boogie.
She had both the jungle buffs after being able to bring down the Kaiser, so she did not want to give that away. And that just resulted in his team almost getting wiped there, and there wasn't really much that they could do. They will lose this tier 1 tower as well with just yet another push. This Mulan, this buggy on the Mulan has just been a problem here for the side of Major Pride for both games.
मुलान भाई अरे
He's
वो
not even built like
मुलान ठीक है मुलान तो भाई मारता है वो उसका हो गया है वो सब 3-2 है वो
he doesn't need it. He's just
इनका
gone for
मेमोरी
the
है इनका भाई इनका हम 2 बार नोटिस कर रहे हैं
Yeah, physical resistance there on the side of NRX with Boogie there. Just like, you know what, I don't need the CC reduction.
Mage अच्छा खेल रहा है भाई
the Angela, and she just literally flees the fight, not wanting to give me those sweet jungle buffs to give over. But to be fair, I'm not jealous of Redski in that situation. It is a hard situation to be in. Do you defend your mid turret? Do you go and give over those buffs to the enemy Mulan, who is already stacked already, or do you just farm? And in that case, unfortunately, towards the end, we did see that the mid terror falls there as well. So all 3 first tier turrets fallen. So it's great open season here for the enemy jungle on the side of NRX. We see that Ali manages to pick off the Angela in the back line there. Limsky looking at a bit of troubles. He does manage to get the knock onto Mulan, but Mulan goes in with the help of Kaiser. Mulan getting the kill there onto Musashi. Ali doing bits in the mid lane, still taking down Zhang Fei. Takes down the second tier turret in the mid lane, and we have that slowdown on the minions. But could this be the first high ground turret takedown?
Looking like it for sure. 3 heals already dead. There might be more. Shisui dropping very low. The Mulan going straight behind and won't be able to get the kill. That is going to be the tier 3 tower falling here. Nolia dropping very low towards from the Angela, but able to just escape just before they respawn. But this might be not a fight. NRX, you do not
come back,
fight. This will be too aggressive. Musashi gets a kill, might get a second on first the Mulan, but will be able to escape is the Mulan being
Indian team तो भाई ऐसे ही
that was a little bit too risky for my boat.
5 minutes में खत्म कर देगा मैच
with barely a scratch.
Absolutely, with a limited, the collateral damage there was only still, but we're having a bit of a fight here. Limsky goes in, takes down the Ali, and has taken down Princess Frost as well. This could be the result of badly managed damage control there, because now Kaiser's down, they don't have a front line. Mulan was definitely not present in that team fight because 3 of her teammates have now fallen to a 3-0 trade, and we can actually see Major Pride open up that mid lane turret, which could be fruitful for Major Pride in going into the 10th minute of this game.
Absolutely huge. That allows them to get a bit more map control, a bit more goal going their way as
क्या
well.
होता है अभी देखो ब्लू लेने चाहेगा
away from the side of NRX,
मार दिया
opens up the
ये अल्ट मारा
as well as the overlord, but Redski a bit too aggressive here. The Kaiser pops the ultimate. Zhang Fei has to use his to knock him back as well. So that means there is no ultimates for the Zhang Fei for the upcoming overlord and the tyrant fight.
अल्ट खत्म होने के बाद अटैक
back off and just take a chill pill for now. Wait for everyone to regroup.
Just push that minion wave back in the mid lane because they do have the super creeps there. Thanks for the high ground being taken. But like you say, the Tyrant is now up. I feel like there's going to be a big fight, a big pressure here, but Kaiser's not quite there. He's looking to push the flash lane instead, just to make sure that he can keep away a 4-5v5 here. But Masashi has got his head in the right place. He's closer to the Tyrant than the Kaiser is. So it could all to play for here. You could see a Major Pride coming through. Could be huge here, but Suzuki is gonna fall, but no, he escapes. He escapes just like in the CGI of Byron there we saw earlier before the show. And it's looking like Red Team are trying to stack up this Tyrant. Kaiser is on the rotate. Zhangbei goes down by Ali there. He's seeing from Masashi, but Masashi is taking too much damage from the Princess Frost. He goes down. The Renji goes down by the Mulan, taking a double kill, and the Tyrant pickup as well. The only thing stopping them from taking the crystal is Byron, who managed to escape the grasp of Kaiser earlier, but I don't think he's going to manage to escape this now. No chance. Here comes the minions. Here comes NRX to finish a much quicker game 2. Completely devastating Major Pride in this 2-0 victory.
One-sided would be a way to describe this match.
सब मैच में 0-2 आज भी सब 0-2 होने वाला है क्या?
There was just no stopping them. There was no team fight that was able to be mounted up.
इन लोगों को क्या मजा आ रहा है देखने में?
The hero picks once again. This Angela didn't really do a lot. Not really. Not able to snowball out of control. And when your Angela doesn't do a lot of damage, that's when that's when you face the issue of just being a completely useless mage for Major Pride. And with that, 0-2, that is going to be the scoreline here for the side of Major Pride. And not a single map win yet.
Yeah, it's not looking good for those fighting words within the introduction. It was definitely all a bit of a play.
Guys,
rather than
थोड़ा आता मैं.
that they can
Be right back.
Back up their words. It's a clean sweep for the
खुशू तेरा तेरा मेरा
As well as the Arlie. Of course, Arlie has been really one of the top performing marksmen that we've seen so far. So plenty of more games left to go. We're only in game number 4. This is day 2 of the group stages. We've only had 4 games happening so far, but we'll have another absolute banger happening right after this as well.
Absolutely. So we are going on to BKS versus Twisted Mind. So 2 teams we have yet to see play. I am super excited for this because the Brazilian teams are definitely showing why they have been invited to this tournament and why they want to take that championship back home. But we know nothing about Twisted Mind yet. We know nothing about what they can do.
Absolutely. They have a great coaching staff supporting them, but Twisted Minds and their roster is pretty new to the Honor of King scenes. While their opponents, Vivo Keystars, they are the champions of the Brazilian Honor of Kings scene, and they will be a very formidable opponent that they will be facing in the next game. But we're going to be hearing from the winners of the previous match against Major Pride NRX. It's going to be NRX, one of the players, and let's see what he has to say about the fantastic victory they had.
Dün olduğu gibi bugün de güne bir Türk takımının galibiyetiyle başladık. NRX'ten Buggy ile birlikteyiz. Hemen sorularımıza geçeceğiz. Dünkü mağlubiyetten sonra takımda ne gibi ayarlamalar yapıldı? Neler konuşuldu Buggy? İlk sorumuz gelsin.
You started off yesterday with a defeat, and we are here with NRX Buggy, of course. So after yesterday's defeat, what adjustments did you make so that you were better prepared for today's match?
Dünkü maçı aslında birinci maç çok güzel gidiyorduk, hiç hatasızdık. Ama bildiğiniz gibi bu oyun uzadıkça bir hataya mağlup oluyorsunuz. Çalışmalarımıza gelirsek de
क्या बोल
hata
रहे पता
yapmamaya
नहीं बट
çalışacağız.
फील तो हो रहा है
Taktiklerimiz yine devam edecek.
बंदा ने अच्छा बोला है
Önümüzdeki bütün rakiplerimizi eleyeceğiz.
So yesterday the match actually started off pretty well, but as you know in this game, the longer the game goes on, the more your mistakes are punishable by the enemy, and you can just lose the game off of just one mistake. And as for our preparations, we will keep preparing, we will keep bettering ourselves, and we will eliminate all of our opponents.
Mulan Charlotte'dan daha güçlü birebir de. Sen de ilk karşılaşmada aslında bunu değerlendirdin, kullandın. Neleri doğru yaptın? Performansını nasıl anlatırsın?
Mulan is stronger than Charlotte in the 1v1s, and you utilized that in the first game. So what correct things did you make during the first game, and how do you feel about your own performance?
Çünkü Charlotte'un zayıf noktalarını biliyorum. Bu aslında birazcık yetenek ve akıl isteyen bir oyun, akıl oyunu. Onu lane'de yenmemin sebebi aklım ve yeteneğim.
I knew Charlotte's weak points, and this game is like a skill game, and it also involves a lot of mind games, and I was stronger on both parts. I made better mind games, and I was more skilled, so that's how I defeated my opponent.
Türk takımların eşleşmeleri de gayet keyifli geçiyor burada. Heyecanlı geçiyor. Bundan sonra Foot Chaos'la karşı karşıya geleceksiniz. Rakibine neler söylersin?
The Turkish teams are also facing off against one another in this tournament, and the next match you have is against Foot Chaos. So what do you want to say to your opponents?
Onlara bol şans diliyorum. Görülmemiş bir hesabımız var.
I wish them good luck, and we still have some things we need to square off.
Buggy çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Başarılar diliyoruz. Bizim de maç sonu röportajlarımız devam edecek.
मैं ट्रांसलेटर तो भाई भाई स्माइल देते ही रहते ट्रांसलेटर ये भाई बेचारा ऐसे ही चेहरा देख के दिखा रहा है भाई ये रेडबुल वाला कितना लोग कंप्लीट किया है? भाई कल इनका वाचिंग अच्छा रहा था, आज थोड़ा सा कम है।
Ah, I heard there's a mermaid in this area.
Out of 10 Navinians, 11 would tell you that they've heard the mermaid singing.
I wouldn't mind hearing it too.
La la la la. La la la la. La la. La la la. La la.
ये क्या था? Fuck. Badar. المقصود دikini. Ah. भाई लग इतना भाई 5 मिनट बोर हो रहा हूँ भाई तो 5 मिनट में गेम हम रुको ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ನಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕಂತೀನಿ fuck it ये कैसा टीम है भाई अरे भोसड़ी का ये ना माँ सब छोड़ दिया क्या
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we don't know much about Twisted Minds, but we know a lot about VKS, and VKS are the team that won at Chuck BR 2023, with a few new additions to their team, which is definitely their farm lane and their roam. Both of these players would sit nicely and definitely complement this team, because these two players have actually been to KIC as well. They were in the wildcard qualifiers, part of the team Osiris as well, which is Mengen Shi, and I believe is it Wind RG, is it?
Win RJ, yes.
Yes. These two players coming into VKS with the Titans already on their team, which is Danny, Niap, and Juan, which are great players, and when I've been watching them throughout the Brazilian tournaments, they've definitely shown why they are worthy of being champions once again in Invitational Season 1.
Absolutely, they are the team to beat right now, coming being the defending champions of the Brazilian Honor Kings Championship last year. So they will be, I mean, it has been what, 4-5 months since that tournament, so things might have changed. You know, like you said, they're currently playing with a new roster with 2 new players, but if anything is to show, you do not lose your pedigree overnight, right? You still have your core players, you still have Danny, you still have Niap, you still have One playing for your team, and they are still very formidable by their own right. So it is going to be definitely a mountain to climb here for the side of Twisted Minds, but hey, they might just surprise us all.
Absolutely, it's gonna be interesting to see how VKS stack up against Alpha 7's performance from yesterday, because we both know that in that game 1, even though it was at the peril of Stalwart Esports losing that mid turret earlier, and I did make sure I made that pointed out to Clue, who I was talking to later on. He was like, "Yes, don't worry about it. Our coach definitely let us know about the mistake we made in game 1." So it's nice to know that as casters and coaches have the same kind of knowledge of what's going on with these players and what is the upset with these matches. But Alpha 7 making a really hard-fought victory towards the end of Game 2 yesterday, and now VKS here, which were the top-seeded team going into KIC from the Brazil region, and Alpha 7 back then were only the 3rd, because Fluxo, who are no longer with us, were the 2nd seed.
Absolutely, defending champions, and also one of the representatives for KIC 2023. Definitely have a lot of experience under their belt, definitely know the game, know the mechanics in and out, and definitely will not make a simple mistake such as trading your mid lane tower for a side lane tower. But hey, Twisted Minds might send them for a spin cycle, because when you don't know what your opponent is up to, that's when they're the scariest.
Absolutely, and I'm sure we got a little bit of a. Once again, is this coach a former KPL player as well, or is he just former KPL coach?
For the side of Twisted Minds, they are one of the teams that, instead of a coach having the coaching experience, their coach Orange was actually from a player's point of view. He played in multiple KPL teams previously, so he's coming in with a fresh new sort of mindset, allowing and understanding the players a little bit more, since he's been with the players since he's been one of the players himself. So that's going to be a very interesting dynamic that we'll see from the side of Twisted Minds.
Absolutely. There we go. Look at how aggressive these lock-ins are. There is no contemplation about these champions hero selections here. We have Kaiser and Sun Bin being the first 2 picks on the side of Twisted Minds, not giving up that Kaiser pick towards VKS, which we know we're favorable to within Chuck VR if it wasn't banned. But looking over at the banned champions for Twisted Minds, we see the Chow and Princess Frost coming through, and then on the side of VKS we have Byron and Dolia. So Dolia now meeting the Banhammer, where she wasn't banned in the first game of match 1 and was picked in match 2.
Interesting to see the Lady Sun picked up here for the side of VKS this early on. They also have the Mai playing towards the mid lane, so not many mid lane hero, not many mages left in the pool for them to pick up. There is still, for the side of Twisted Minds, maybe something like the Lady Zen. Maybe they want to go for the Gan and Mo, which is pretty good against the Lady Sun as well. But let's see what they will lock in. They do ban out 2 junglers with the Jing and the Lamb ban, while VKS has banned out the Clash laners, the Charlotte, and you might see perhaps a Mulan ban here, because Twisted Minds is still missing a Clash laner or jungle. They can still flex. Dharma will be the ban for setup VKS.
Yes, Dharma is one of those big, huge ceiling skilled Clash lane heroes as well. So Dharma hasn't actually been able to be picked through in these games yet. Hopefully we do get to see him, but once again, it takes huge skill to control and take the demand of this hero as well. But we see over the side of Twisted Minds, they do get the Marco Polo making his first appearance in the Season 1 Invitational, and they do lock down Dun's favorite jungle, not Dun, sorry, NRX's favorite jungler, Dun. Dun comes through once again, so it's going to be interesting to see what's left open here for BKS. Will they go for a tanky jungle, because obviously those assassin jungles are never taken up, but it's looking like Musashi is coming through, and I was just about to say the Liempo in the Clash lane is one of their great picks.
Yeah, it is pretty well-rounded here from the side of VKS. Plenty of team fight with the Lianpo coming into play. They've got the physical damage that the Musashi as well as the Lady Sun is able to provide. They've also got the magical burst coming from the Mai, and of course Zhang Fei, always a good, well-rounded support. VKS's lineup looking very strong. While for Twisted Minds, Nuwa will be their mid laner. Not a hero we see a lot at all.
A new challenger has entered the arena. We've never seen this mid-mage come through yet, but I'm very excited to see that we are being considered some new picks within the heroes here. So Nuwa, we haven't seen yet, but is a great mage, has been teased quite a bit within these kind of scenarios where it's group stages, where you try and figure out these new team compositions. But looking at VKS, like you say, it's a tried and tested team comp. It is strong. It's all about that Lady Sun. They have the Zhang Fei to protect them, Musashi with the great engages, being able to gank as well from the jungle. And then we have the Liempo as well. So we have a great team fight composition as well. We've got 2 huge brawlers that can go in. We've got Musashi who can pick off villain of Batman. It's kind of just like I was molded by this, all these big teams. They've learned from all this knowledge. You immediately adopted it. It's just like, I'm really interested to see what Twisted Minds have up for grabs here in terms of their team comp and players. And like you say, with Coach Orange, we could be seeing an unstoppable force here.
But they still have to go through VKS first, because this is not going to be the easiest matchup. The first showing of the Vivo Key Stars facing up against Twisted Minds in game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And wow, we have a party in the mid lane. 3 heroes from the side of VKS rotating the Lady Sun towards the mid lane to help pressure a little bit, as well as help clear the wave, because we've talked about this. The Mai is not the best wave clear, and you always need a little extra bit of support to be able to rotate as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, looking to try and go for that blue buff, but they were a little bit too late there to try and stop Kaiser taking the Sage Golem. But I have to give a shout out to VN there, but because that push check early on, that shows some knowledge of this game already that we didn't see from the likes of Major Pride. We see some great knowledge, some great mechanical knowledge from this player already, from the Sunbin checking those bushes for the Lady Sun and catching out the Lady Sun. So I'm really excited for this match right now. But it's all a little bit all over the place, like you say, with Mai not having the fastest clear. We are seeing Dun up in the Clash lane right now as well. Yeah, going against the Liempo should have the advantage. We saw Liempo was actually quite battered to begin with, so I think it's just applying that pressure, maybe trying to get that lead with Dun in the Clash lane or with the Kaiser, as we see him rotating right now. Again, I think it's just all about these first foots into the door for both of these teams.
Who will be the aggressors? Who will be the one to strike first blood? Is going to give their team a slight advantage to start. And the top lane, both jungles have already rotated over. The Musashi is going to spot out the Dun as well as the Kaiser. Oh,
Mai just missing out.
Almost getting
Mai just missing out on that kill. Yeah, literally. I mean, Marco Polo just absolutely counted his blessings there, but he does have some really good get out of situations within his kit. So I think it was only right that he able to actually get out of Mai's advantage there. Any of the sort of ADC would definitely struggle with Mai being the early aggressor within that one. But a little bit of a late rotate there between Noir by the side of Twisted Minds. It's all a little bit sort of, there's no real tempo going on right now. They're just trying to get the first kill through the door. It seems Kaiser going in onto Mugenshi and Wind RG here. Very sticky Kaiser, backed up by Sunbin and Marco Polo. Not quite getting what he wanted out of that, but VKS, Danny doing a lot of damage onto Dun in the mid lane, still not securing a kill. There's a great sense of mental game being played here by VKS.
Oh man, one's not done yet. Going for the kill onto his Baladi, but Baladi able to escape with an inch on his health, and looks like they are trying to turn things around. Falcon going for the Lianpo. Lianpo is way too fast though, and able to traverse the terrain, getting into his safety. No kills traded so far, but both teams not looking very passive. They are looking to get something done early on.
Dawadi very well played there on that Dun. Anybody else would have fallen short to that Mai, and I bet that's super frustrating for VKS1 there, thinking he had the grasp of the kill twice, not once, but twice. Once on Marco Polo, one on Dun. However, they do need to stop that brutal battering of that side lane turret in the farm lane right now, because if they start losing these side lane turrets, it opens up a great vision, a great access for Musashi to be even greater at these ganks onto these squishy champions, especially when he's built the likes of the item of your Axe of Torment for the squishy champions.
So we're almost there for the Musashi, but the Kaiser's going for the more tankier route, going for a bit more AoE damage with burn as well. So a bit of different ideologies and mindsets here. Bawadi trying to go for Win RJ, but way too fast is this Lady Sun, being able to just escape with a roll away, and she's gonna be able to live to see another day.
Yeah, to be honest, I think if this was any other like warm-up match for Twisted Minds, I think we'd probably see a huge win for them here. But it's against VKS and it's a champion team, and we see Mai going in onto the turret with Liam Po with the knock-up burst blood onto Jin. Down goes Marco Polo, and again Niab showing why he's so good on this Liam Po pick. A triple kill. Can he get a quaddy? No. Lady Sun takes the 4th kill from VKS and Niap. Oh my days. That was a slow burner, but it was a huge bang right there for VKS.
Absolutely, they just went suddenly explosive Niap with a huge 2-man knockup towards the back lines, just started things off for them, and they just got 4 quick kills off the bat. That's gonna allow them to get this Tyrant without any contest, and they might actually try and go for the Overlord to start off as well.
Absolutely. I feel like my statement originally was that mind games were being played. And speaking of mind games are being played up in the clash lane with Mai against the Dun here. Nice flash interaction on that second proc of the first skill. But Mai almost taking him out. There comes Niap with the rotation, taking down Dun again. So the only hero to survive that last interaction, that last 4 bang by VKS was done, and we see Niap take and finish the task there by taking down Dun in the clash lane.
Yeah, a really good tempo here from the side of VKS. They will be trying to steal away more and more resources from the side of just the mines as well, being able to get the blue buff on Daniel. But he's in a very dangerous position, but he doesn't care, goes for the kill on towards Jin, and might be able to just escape from this. Niwa a bit too late to the party, but Falcon is there, and that should be enough damage to punish. But meanwhile, in the top lanes, they die behind the tier 2 tower, will get the kill on towards the Dun, and that will allow them to take this tier 2 tower as well.
Sacrificing the Danny for a tier 2 turret. I'm pretty sure he'd be happy with his teammates there, performing very well. BKS right now, currently up in the econ curve as well. They are up pretty much 4k gold, whilst Heiser is looking to try and take a turret for his team. Twisted Minds here. It seems like that first 3-4 minutes was very, very slow. It was the build-up, it was the bubbling, it was the Mentos being put into the Coca-Cola, and for it to explode was that 4 bang down in the farm lane by Niap. It was very crazy. It was very well played by BKS, but did I expect anything different? No. But to give it to where credit is due here for Twisted Mind, they are trying their best. And this to be your warm-up match within the Invitational, like I've already said, is a hard one. This is just punishable.
Absolutely, but this is one of the best ways to learn. You know, you play against the strongest opponents right away, take the lessons learned here, whether you win or lose, and then when you face up against, you know, someone that's not BKS or Alpha 7, then you would have a better chance of winning. You know, those are the silver linings when you're facing up against a team like, you know, Vivo Keystars. You get to learn from their movement, from their macro control, from their positioning, and utilize that in your upcoming matches.
Absolutely. I think the only thing they can take away from this is R&D, but I do feel like Twisted Minds has been a little bit shafted here within the Season 1 Invitational, because their next opponent is Star Wars Esports, and to finish off their opponents, it's Alpha 7. So they've had no easy walk in the park with the hand that they've been dealt, but I feel Twisted Minds still have a firm grasp on reality and potentially a win here. But VKS just absolutely dominating the map. The tempo has been illuminated, and it is a fast tempo for BKS right now.
Absolutely not wanting to take this game past the 15-minute mark, and their heroes are playing very aggressively just to, you know, get themselves in a position where if they get a single pick off on any single player on the side of Twisted Minds, they're able to convert that into objectives across the map. That's why they're playing on their opponent's side of the map, with RJ not afraid of anything at all, because he knows that he has the Zhang Fei, he has the Lian Po to be able to peel for him if he's in any danger at all, and he's rolling in aggressively. Usually, as a Lady Sun player, when you roll forward, that's always dangerous. When you fully trust your teammates, that's when you can make these aggressive plays, and that pays off with a kill on towards Falcon. And with the Vanguards pushing on towards the side lanes, BKS is going to be slowed down a little bit, but not completely deterred from taking this mid-tier 2 tower.
Absolutely. There's definitely two kinds of players. That is Lady Sun players, and it's those that roll forward and those that roll backwards. As you said there, but Wind RG knowing that his team, he is a role forward player within Lady Sun. There is no Madam President, it is Warrior President Lady coming through here. But again, great engages coming from Niap on this Liam Poe pick. But we've seen it all in Chuck BR. I am not surprised he has gone for this hero. It is a huge pick for VKS. It's a huge staple pick for the team as well. But this is the little bit of lacking that we've seen in other teams like Major Pride, where they've had no real engage of just left ball for Zhang Fei. And then their clash lane has been somebody like Charlotte, who has a high skill gap and roof. So to be a new team, to pick a champion hero like that is just like he's stepping on the wrong foot already. But again, VKS going for the Tyrant, more than likely going to go for the Overlord, get those Vanguards again. Anything is possible with this team because their tempo, their coverage of this map is just unruly.
Absolutely. 10 minutes in already losing that tier 3 tower. That's just a testament of how aggressive VKS have been playing. Any single pickoff, that gives them an opening to be able to push the towers. And Vienne wasn't the pickoff that they were looking for. The Mai was looking for maybe someone squishier like Jin or maybe even the Nuwa to be able to burst out before taking the next fight. But they will be happy with just taking this Shadow Overlord, which is going to give them the Vanguards to be able to help push out 2 side lanes.
Absolutely. I mean, Mai just dodging every shot that's been fired at her right there up in the clash lane. Absolute skillful use of the hero right there. And like you say, they picked up the Overlord, the Shadow Vanguard coming through, looking to clear up that farm lane minion wave. They already taken the higher ground turret on the side of the clash lane, and they're looking for it in the mid lane. Here comes through the minions in the mid lane, looking to force a little bit of a fight here between both these high ground turrets, looking to just bait it, so they stay far away from that mid lane high ground inhibitor. There is Niap with the amazing engage once again, just huge knock-up potential. Crowd control straight into the crystal takedown. VKS with a solid 1-0, and they are hyped.
The trust, the championship trust in the team. That's why you see the Lian Po going in, because he saw that the Mai was already cutting towards the backline. That was the go signal, and go they did, going straight towards the crystal, getting all 5 members on the side of Twisted Minds wiped out and taking the game 1 victory with such absolute flair. That is amazing to see, and that is why they were the champions of the Honor of Kings Brazil Championship.
Absolutely, it's been tried and tested. This team, they don't need a change of a coach. This coach is definitely coaching them to victory, and it's not just that, it's the players that demand the respect as well. But we don't even need to look at the overall post-game stats. That MVP is going to nobody other than Niap. Those engages on the Liam Po were deadly. This is why, for the whole of day 1, I was so confused why people just weren't picking up this hero, Liam Po. He has such great team fight potential. The knockups of his ultimate, he has triple knockup. They all do the same amount of damage as well. So if you start doing some real damage and reflecting that physical damage like you would do with some of the items within this game, 507, Niap is a god on Liam Po right now.
Absolutely beautiful play style. Sure, the laning is a much weaker compared to heroes like the Byron or the Mulan, but Lian Po makes up with that for the initiation he can do, the team fights that can just be swung towards their way just with the Lian Po initiation. That is showcased very well in this first game of this best of 3 series, and Niap with the 92% team fight participation rate, absolutely crazy. Definitely the MVP in my book. Arguments can be made for one. He played phenomenally on the Mai as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was given the MVP as well.
Someone's going to tell me that 0% team rate fight on Dunn is an error. Surely not. He was definitely in some team fights. I remember him being there. Maybe not for long, but he was definitely in those team fights at some point, being whatever use he could be. But yeah, VKS, it was definitely, yeah, you do say it correctly, Niap or One definitely deserve that. One taking on such a huge skill gap champion and handling it like a pro, and that is why BKS were the Brazilian champions. And one does take the MVP. They do go against me. I will be writing a petition to my local MP to get that overturned. Niap was absolutely, stolen MVP from Niap. If he doesn't get it in the next game, I feel like this is concluded. And its conclusion, completely against Niap.
Yeah, one did still play pretty well. I mean, like I said earlier, if it's not Nia, then it definitely has to be one. It is one of these heroes where Mai can just really shine or just can really fall flat. But these replays are just going to show that it's just going to give your case a better argument, because this whole fight started off with Nia jumping towards the backline, gets a triple kill here, and allowing them to get the first huge team fight of the game. And here, maybe one, the solo kill is spectacular to see.
And then Niap just cleans up. Niap is there. Come on, judge. Rule in my favor. Niap has been cheated. But no, well played to BKS one though on that Mai. It was a really fantastic display of the hero there. Really well played, really well handled, and just be able to get in and out. Yes, we saw those two mishaps within the early game where Mai was able to close the kill, but again, mind games. That's what it was. Those mind games saying, oh, I didn't get you there, but I'm going to get you now. But then just look at this beautiful ending, all set up by Niap. It's just phenomenal. Please, please, please, I'm praying, my hands are together. Please give Niap MVP for Game 2 if he goes for Liempo. But I don't think Twisted Minds, if they're in the right mind, would keep that Liempo on the cards. They have to take it off, get rid of the Mai, or else BKS will just take another stomp.
It's just so many heroes to ban now, so many heroes that you have to watch out for. You got the Dachiao, you got the Dolia, you got the Kaiser. Now against VKS, you want to ban out their Lienpo on the Clash lane. You're gonna ban out the Mai, who one played phenomenally. There's just not enough bans to go around, and you just have to put the plug in with a counter pick somehow on your own lineup. You can't just always pick, your comfort hero. Sometimes you have to pick the best hero for that game, not the best hero for yourself. And these adjustments for a new team like Twisted Minds, they might not be able to spot out, but maybe Orange as their coach is able to get his input in and hopefully steer them to a Game 2 victory as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we can only hope for a full best of 3, because we don't want another day of 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. If it is another day of 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, I feel like the most potential that we may get is this next Turkish region face-off between BJK and Foot Chaos. But like you say, Coach Orange may have something in the books here in terms of the draft bans here. But like you say, it's not about picking the hero that's right for you. It's about picking the hero that's right for the team. But when you're forced to take Byron off the cards, take Charlotte off the cards, the Liempo is probably your next best bet, especially if you want those huge team fights like we saw, and especially when you haven't got a utility mage on your team. You've got Mai, who is more so an assassin.
No doubt about it. This showcases how well that VKS knows the games in and out. They know what their team composition is lacking. That's why they plug in that Lienpo towards the Clash lane, knowing that they're going to pick up the Mai, lacking in team fight control. Hey, let's pick up the Lienpo. Perfect hero for the game, and also perfect hero to be played by Niap as well.
Absolutely. I think the big shout out though is that all the power of BKS definitely come from Mengenshi's twirly mustache. I think that's where all the plays are made. When he does that, that's it. It's game over. It's just like watching an anime and just like seeing the main character protagonist just roll up his tash. You know it's over. The movement, the finisher move is on its way, and they are definitely here to stay. BKS with a solid 1-0 there.
The foreshadowing is strong in this one, and they definitely will have felt it in their bones here. Still not the end of the road here for the side of Twisted Minds. They can make a comeback in game number 2, but they will have their work cut out for them. There is plenty of things they have to do better in order to defeat a team such as VKS, because VKS in no way in this tournament is a pushover. I mean, they're one of the favorites to take this entire tournament, so they have to, pull all the stops here for the side of Twisted Minds if they want to take a map away from Vivo Keat Stars.
Absolutely. I believe, are we going to a short break here before we go into match 2, or are we getting straight into it? We're getting stuck in. They're getting on stage right now.
Not sure about it, but I guess in the meantime, we can just continue on rambling about how good VKS is. But Twist of Minds.
I mean, we can also share. Hey, I can see myself. I'm on stage, Mum. We're in Istanbul. We're right there. Someone just put a kebab next to our little shrine of me and Zero, and we'll feel we are completely in spirit with these teams. I can see myself, adjusting myself. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, VKS, we saw a lot of talk about... We heard a lot of talk between Alpha 7 being the scary ones, but it's VKS that are putting the work in to show that they are also scary teams to be facing against, and especially being Twisted Minds, completely unknown. We don't know what is capable of VKS and what is capable of Twisted Minds. And we are now going to cut through to the break, guys, before we go to Game 2 in Match 2 of Day 2. I am Blam, with me is Zero. We'll see you soon. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Game 2 of Day 2 of Match 2. I am Blem, those new joining at home, and with me is Zero. After that match, how do you feel, Twisted Minds, sorry, how do you feel that they're going to fare in this Game 2?
I mean, Vivo Keystars were one of the most feared teams in this tournament for a reason. They've showcased it in this game. The tempo that they play, the map understanding, the team fight positionings has absolutely been phenomenal from the Brazilian squad. And just the Minds, definitely after seeing that, know that they have a mountain ahead to climb. So let's hope that they sharpen up their pickaxes and their cleats, because they will need to climb this mountain eventually. Game 2 of this Best of 3 series, of course, about to head underway, and there is a lot of expectations on the side of Vivo Keystars to be able to perform well and make it towards the knockout stages on top of the groups. But, you know, Twisted Minds, if they are prepared well, if they do not lose their confidence in this match, I definitely see a chance for this to go into game number 3.
Absolutely. Maybe not sharpening up their Axes of Torment, but maybe sharpening up some sort of anti-tank item, especially for that Liam Fo and the Zhang Fei. They're real big moving parts within that team fight capability of VKS there. They were the true tried efforts of starting everything. I feel like McGinn Sheet was completely undershadowed there, but as a roam, he was definitely spotting, he was roaming, he was giving all the advantages to his team and opening it up for the Liempo and the Mai to come through and cut through clean. Twisted Minds take the Mai straight off the card with the Princess Frost, which is, I think, a needed thing, but it means that other things are going to be open up for one in the mid lane.
Yeah, there is not much utility mages left in for the mid. Something like Lady Zen could be an option if they want to go for a mage that provides some crowd control. But if they do not, they can just go for something else. In towards the mid lane, they can play more aggressively with like an Angela or a Da Xiao. They can play a Diao Chan, which provides them with more late game potential. But knowing VKS and their huge hero pool, they can just pick up anything, and that will they will always have the advantage.
Oh, we see the Gambo and the Dong Huang coming through on the side of Twisted Minds. A definite change up of their team comp from last match. They go for the Gambo, which I honestly thought the VKS may have picked up there, but it turns out they're going to go for it instead. And on the side of VKS, we do get another coin flip pick here from Niap. It is the Byron because it is open. It wasn't banned in the first two picks, and is a great Clash Lane hero in competitive.
Absolutely, it's one of those heroes that you will always fear when you face up against it. The pay in the hands of any player from the side of VKS is going to be strong. I'm expecting it to be a jungle though. One of the most aggressive jungle heroes that you can find. A jungle hero that rotates before the 4 minutes mark. After getting a single buff, after getting the Might Golem buff or even the Sage Golem buff, you'll see him start making things happen across the map. He is in a way something like the Prince of Lanling, but more explosive early on.
Very strange that they've gone for the... we've only seen this ban twice, and I thought it's quite a miscellaneous kind of ban, which is Dr. Bien. And then obviously the Zhou Yu is a classic mid lane ban. So Dr. Bien we don't see get nobody played. I'm not too sure where this ban comes from or how this hero is situated within competitive. Obviously the DOTs, the damage over time, the markings, the healing of your team is a great necessity. But I don't feel like it's going to be a champion that is considered quite often within Season 1 Invitational, which is quite bizarre. But then on the side of BKS, they do ban out, once again, two great Baron laners, Charlotte and Doma.
Exactly. Going back to your point of the Dr. Bien ban, it's one of those heroes that do really well against the Dong Huang, able to keep able to do damage over time to the Dong Huang, not allowing him to transfer that damage over to whoever he has suppressed, while also healing the teammate at the same time. So a little bit of double dipping on towards that mid laner for the side of VKS if they decided to pick that up. But Twisted Minds not wanting to play against that. And hello, Nakaruru!
This is, I mean, they may get stomped in this one, but Twisted Minds, my new favorite team, they are picking some really cool picks. It's not quite like Major Pride where they come out with some strange picks and it doesn't quite make sense, but they are showing that they know the game knowledge, they know these heroes, the heroes, yeah, and then they go and pick Nakamura as well, which is a great pick, but it is a squishy pick. If you cannot get onto those champions, it's game over for you. But yeah, like you say, with the Pi, a very great hero, especially in the jungle. We don't necessarily see him being picked, but he was banned quite often yesterday as well. The Renji coming through, again, Purify for a lot of these CCs that's on the side of Twisted Mind. And then we get Angela in the mid lane. So the one of the poster childs for Honor of Kings coming back through in the mid lane.
Absolutely here. And it's gonna be very interesting to see if BKS is able to turn things around for the Diren Jie. That hero hasn't really been performing in other games, but if any team can get a win for the side of the Diren Jie, it definitely has to be BKS. I mean, in the hands of Winar J, that Diren Jie is going to be a very scary force to be reckoned with.
I mean, not only does it rhyme, it could be fate as well. So putting it on VKS to get Durangi's win rate up is definitely a good bet to be made there. But going against the Lady Sun, going against Dong Huang, I feel like the isolation champion is just all about maybe locking down Niap, maybe trying to punish the player himself rather than the hero, because of how well Niap really dominated the rotations and the team fights there. But once again, it's a double-edged blade. You suppress a hero, but then you're also taking that damage yourself, so you don't want to take too much damage to the point that you've just knocked out your own roam support player. And we know how fatal that can be in team fights.
I just realized something. If you take the letters on WinRJ's name and you add a space in the middle of his name, his name becomes WinDRJ, WinDRJ.
There we go. It is fate. Representation, especially when the mid-season invitational is going to be hosted there, which is going to be a great tournament, especially seeing the Dream Team KPL come through as well. But less about that, more about these Titans going head-to-head here with a different team comp from the first game. But already we're getting those aggressive checks into the bush, but we see that Gammo takes a lot of hits there.
Yeah, it's very annoying when you're laning alone against two of those heroes, but Gammo is not going to be too worried about that. They didn't have much kill potential at level 1, so they're going to be fine. Gammo going to get their Sage Golem stolen there by the Pain. We're talking about the aggressiveness that VKS can do with this Pain. Look at Niat getting a solo kill onto the top lane on the Dun. Fantastic aggressive start here coming from the Brazilian squad.
Niap definitely saying you should have banned Byron, not my. I am the issue. I am the issue, baby, and I want to be MVP this time. I am not going to get cheated. If he does get cheated, I feel like if he cheated by Danny this time, because I feel like the pay character here is going to be a great play potential in these team fights and in these ganks, and obviously fast rotations due to his Tiger form as well. But we saw VKS Danny is already helping himself to the enemy's jungle. He's now rotated to his red buff and could be easily on his way to just help himself to another blue buff on his side. He's completely taken Nakamuru's cooldown reduction and mana there, so that's going to really affect her early game potential.
Yeah, Falcon's absolutely struggling right now. Not even level 4 at the moment, and the rotations are going to come in. Oh, the skill miss. Almost, it's going to cost them a kill here for the side of 1. Rare mistake from the mid laner on the side of VKS. So Nakaru able to escape with her life, but so far her game is in absolute shambles. No blue buff, only level 4 not even level 4 at the moment. She is going to take a lot of work to be able to recover.
Absolutely, that is going to be a fatal recall, but it's also going to be fatal mishap there for 1. We did see it twice in the first game of the day, first game of this match, sorry, where he missed the 2 kills onto Marco Polo and one of the other heroes of Twisted Minds. But we see that Niap is, even though he's changed the champion, the Byron pick is still coming through, tried and tested up in the Clash lane right now, and Angela with the CC immunity, popping the ultimate, doing a lot of damage onto Boadi. Niap taking unnecessary damage from the turret, acting as bait onto Vidani and 1 here. I feel like this is going to be a clean 3 on 2. Could Boadi get the kill? Oh, clean ultimate there, but it is going to be a trade, opening up for Danny, giving him some more gold in advantage of the enemy jungle also.
Boadi showcasing his understanding of the mechanics of that hero, be able to use the flicker to close out the distance and finish him off with an ultimate. That's gonna, if not win them the game, at least give them something to cheer for, because that was a great play there from the side of Bawadi. Finally able to, you know, get something out of Niap. That's gonna punish them a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he's already contributed to the kills this time. I mean, it took them a very long time on the side of Twisted Minds to get a kill in that first game of match 2. But to be cleaning up so early could be a change of pace, a change of mind, a twisted mind, but a change of heart for the team here so far. Danny going 1v1 onto VN here. Nakamura tried to come round with the support onto Angela, but was already deleted the Dong Huang there. So no suppression for VKS right now. Oh, Magenshi coming around though. Beast mode stunning the Lady Sun that she cannot escape, and taking the kill from VKS Danny.
4-1 scoreline. Tower plating is gonna fall for the moment, which allows the side of VKS to take this bottom tier 1 tower very easily. They're already cutting the waves with WinRJ and Munguchi towards the back lines, and also at the same time they will be able to get the Tyrant as well. So a lot of map pressure being put down here by Danny. Oh, Nakaruru trying to get a Q onto the Angela. She's gonna get it, but can she escape with her life? Danny, oh, able to dodge out the damage coming from the side of the gun and Mo, so able to barely escape there. But meanwhile, the top lane, Niap being chased down there by Bawadi, but trying to turn things around. The tower is still left alive, but I'm pretty sure they are going to break it and then die for the Q onto Bawadi.
What a fantastic mechanic there, but also popping up in the mid lane is Twisted Mind. Lady Sun getting a double kill there onto Zhang Fei and the Renji, and opening up that very important mid lane turret. Uh-oh, VKS right now taking down the Angela as well, but VN tries to come through. Byron takes down the Ganamo, and then down goes Dong Huang there to VKS Danny. So a little bit all over the place, but the most important, the very crucial thing that Twisted Mind actually managed to do there is take down that mid lane turret, which opens up, yes, to a very daring jungler, Nakamura, but now has very much access to gank around this mid lane, gank through the enemy jungle if need be.
Yeah, really great movements there from Twisted Minds, identifying that they cannot help the Dun on the top lane, decides to collapse on towards the mid, gets 2 kills, gets the tier 1 tower as well. That's gonna help them stave off the bleeding a little bit, but VKS does not care. Hey, you open up my mid lane tower, we're gonna take your jungle anyways, because we don't really care. We are that confident in our team fighting and skill that we're going to just go aggressively as they can. And that is really showcased right now, because they are going to take the bottom tier 2 tower as well.
Yeah, pre-10 minutes, tier 2 turret down in the clash, the farm lane. They definitely do not care. They know no bounds. VKS is not restricted by boundaries or turrets there, opening it up both for the side lanes very nicely, and even completely demolishing the the farm lane, sorry, all the way up until the higher ground. So I feel like that's a big opening there for one, even though Danny, sorry, even though he's able to just show that he didn't need the opening up already. He can go there wherever he goes, wherever he roams. Dong Huang just getting caught out there by a few little bits of damage, not being able to proc that stun onto Niap. But we do see them take down the second tier turret in the clash lane now, and Danny is looking to help himself to go for the Overlord as well. Again, just Twisted Minds, once again, like we keep saying, for this to be their opening match is huge, but there is lots for them to learn from this going into their next match tomorrow against Stalwart Esports. I really feel this team could actually give Stalwart a run for their money.
Absolutely. It looks like, you know, even though they are behind 5,000 right now, they've been doing the right things. They're not taking these fights that they're not supposed to, but in my opinion, they're playing a little bit too safe. For when you're behind, you have to take certain risks to be able to try and come back from the game. But without that, Falcon just falling here on the Nakaruru, and they're gonna try and contest, try and push up to the bottom tier 3 tower, because they do have the Shadow Banker up and running, and they're gonna get a kill onto his Bawadi immediately. Meanwhile, Menguichi on the front lines opening things up, and they're gonna get the tier 3 tower pre-10 minutes and trying to actually bring down the crystal. Are they trying to break the record that was set on the previous day? It looks like they certainly are, but is this a mistake for the side of VKS? Will this come back and bite them? the damage coming from the gun and more really hurting one, so they have to back off for now.
Yeah, they was definitely trying to make a statement there against Foot Chaos for taking the quickest and cleanest game yesterday. Didn't quite work out well for them, but they still have time. I mean, Foot Chaos's quickest time was, I think it was just
12?
under 11. Yeah,
11
just
minutes.
under 11 minutes. Yeah, so they still have time. They still have the leeway of 3 minutes, which in Honor of Kings feels like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So they could still do it. They could still make that statement, and it looks like they're trying to make the statement here, especially going for a clash in the mid lane. Whilst we got Niap pushing the clash lane as well, looking to try and take another high ground turret, but also force the enemy team, Twisted Minds, up there. There we go. First tier turret goes in the mid lane. Already repaying back their repentance for Twisted Mind, taking it earlier. There's Pi taking down Bawadi there. So Dun already goes down. It is a done deal to take the high ground turret in the clash lane also, whilst they're trying to force the minions into the crystal. But there's that slowdown that really stops them in their tracks, and it's going to be really frustrating for them to try and finish before Foot Chaos for taking the cleanest, quickest match yet in Season 1 Invitational.
I don't know about clean. It's been pretty brawly so far for both sides, but definitely one of the quickest games we had so far. Danny absolutely tearing apart that Tyrant, but not in time before it's actually going to be upgraded into the Shadow Tyrant. So a little bit unfortunate timing there. He definitely could have just destroyed it in a couple more seconds, but still, they probably do not need that buff to be able to break through the tier 3 at the moment. They are leading by almost 10,000 net worth in 10 minutes, so they're in a great spot to take this victory.
A great spot. I think it's a dream spot for any team to be in. Is that far ahead? Pre-10 minutes. The 10-minute mark is now up. The Shadow Overlord is looking to be taken here by Danny with the help of Beginchi and Win RJ there. They do take it very quickly, and then will be spawning the Shadow Vanguard with his little buddy Vanguard as well, completely wiping out that mid lane minions, hoping to open up this mid lane takedown for BKS. And they're looking to start this mid lane turret now. Second tier turret that does go down. Wadi a little bit too mixed in deep, but has to ult out of there. Trying to force as many skills as possible right now before they go for a clash under the crystal. There goes the last standing high ground turret for Twisted Mind. It is literally just the boundaries left between themselves is the Shadow Vanguard and those minions. Wanyong trying to do something onto the Derenji, but Derenji gets out of there as well alive. So not only have they traded 3-0, VKS win rate RG is fighting with little help, and they managed to take the crystal. Please tell me that was before Foot Chaos's time there. If so, that is huge from the Brazilian champions.
I think it was. I mean, it was 11:03. That's when the crystal got destroyed here by the side of VKS, and I think for Foot Chaos,